Should a creator start a newsletter? Yes. I was talking to Delma recently, who I know you guys know, TikTok's Queen of Business School.
Yeah,
And
for
she
sure.
had just started a newsletter. I love Delma. I love her content. She had just started a newsletter and she was struggling a little bit with how much work it was and also kind of the mind shift between creating video to more text content. So I do recommend the newsletter. I think it's a really good way to be seen by people that maybe aren't necessarily on Twitter. And I always think about that. I'll talk about something on Twitter or I'll talk about something on Instagram. And then I realize, maybe 100 people have seen that. Um, the people that read the newsletter are not necessarily the people that have seen that. And so I think, especially in marketing, it's like we always have to remind ourselves like people have to see things at multiple touch points and multiple times. And just because you talked about something on Twitter does not mean your entire Twitter audience or your overall digital audience has seen what you're talking about. So I think a newsletter is a really great way of recapping that. It is a lot of work, so it's
Mm.
hard. But I don't encourage people to just take it on lightly. Like, yeah, sure, just launch a newsletter. It's a lot of work. Um, and then your last question was about kind of the saturated space. There's always room for new voices, just in the same way that there's always room for new Instagram creators, there's room for new TikTok creators. I think that you just have to have a unique voice and a unique point of view. So I think if all you're doing is recapping headlines, for example, that's not necessarily going to work because there's already people doing a really good job at that. But if you're recapping headlines and bringing a really good perspective or analysis, that's great. Or if you're digging deeper into a story and talking to people and doing interviews, that's great. So I think there is a way to do it. It's just in the same way you become a creator on any platform or in any medium, you have to figure out what is your, the unique value that you're providing to the people who would subscribe.